Hello everyone, this is my review for Friday at Smackdown on December 20th, 2013. And to be honest, I felt that this Smackdown it didn't really come off all that good. Or at least it just didn't have, in some areas it just didn't have any kind of cohesion of like where they're at with the storylines and what the people's characters are at this point. Right at the beginning of the show you have Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and John Cena cutting a promo. Like I said, this is looking like it's going to become some kind of triple threat match going into the Royal Rumble. At least that's where I'm thinking it's going to be. But, eventually this leads to the Shield coming out, and CM Punk comes out, of course, to continue on his deal with the Shield, leading to the six-man tag later in the show. I just find it weird in this case that they decided not to continue to use Randy Orton throughout the show. They only had him there for that one promo, and they didn't use him like during the main event time for the six-man tag, which I'll get going with that a little bit. And get going with that in a little bit, or just in any other kind of segment in some way, shape, or form. It looks like they're going towards Brie Bella to go up against AJ again. She gets the win over Tamina, and then immediately shoves AJ to the ground. Though you don't really know if that's where they're going to go with any kind of Diva storyline, because they've been really switching between Brie and Natalya over the last couple months. Just like, okay, it looks like this one's going after the Diva style. No, it's going to be the other one going after the Diva style. So you don't know exactly where they're going with that at this point in time. So we'll see where they're going to go with that as well. Probably the best portion of the show to me was the Wyatt family versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust, or they're calling themselves the Brotherhood now. And basically why I consider this probably be one of the better areas is because it could lead into them getting like a tag team, the Wyatt family getting a tag team title shot. The match itself was really good. It seemed like a good way of starting to build a story around it. And this leads into a little bit more of where they're trying to, or where they kind of lose track of where they were going throughout the entire show. Because after the match, of course, you have the Wyatt family continuing with the beatdown of Cody Rhodes and Goldust after they get the victory. This leads Daniel Bryan to coming out there, and I know Daniel Bryan's been having the storyline with the Wyatt family, and I feel they'll continue that as like a little side storyline here. But you already have him booked in a match later in the show. Why are you going to have him come out for a second time here and then a third time later? You should just be having him go for the actual match itself. But I mean, they at least did write it in there to make it look a little bit better in the end, with having the Wyatt family attack him again backstage and basically take him out of that match in general. And right before I get to the main event, just one last aspect that I wanted to get to. Why is Miz even working as a face here? He's been working as a heel over the last couple months, and now all of a sudden he works a face angle with Damien Sandow, because Damien Sandow is setting up the match with him and Mark Henry with the whole Santa Claus type match on Raw. And then Miz comes out being like being the savior from Damien Sandow's promo here. I don't know why they're making Miz work a face angle when he's been working heel, and that's where they need to be going with him at this point in time, and they're not going that, not really going that route in there. They also had a couple other matches in there. Sin Cara, basically them continuing to build Sin Cara up, or try to rebuild him. And also another match with Fandango and Kofi Kingston, where they're trying to build Fandango up, in this case we're giving him the victory here. But not much in the terms of storyline building between any of those for potential feuds. Also, you had the continuation of the whole Tensai Brutus Clay breakup and everything. And I really... it's kind of funny listening to the announcers or Brutus Clay continue to call him a main event player. Obviously, that's what they're going to be trying to convey here, even though they're not giving him the victories at this point in time. I think they're going to eventually be pushing Brutus Clay as like a monster heel, or maybe even a potential close to main event player. I don't think he's actually a main event type guy at all. But we'll see where they actually go with this storyline. But I see them beginning to push Brutus Clay as like a little bit more of a monster-esque type heel here in the near future. And this does bring me to what the main event was, which was John Cena and CM Punk, with obviously Daniel Bryan being taken out. It's now a handicap match against the Shield. You know, the match itself was really good considering. Not really considering, but mainly because you have the Shield, you have Cena, you have Punk, all great workers, and you're gonna get a good match out of it. So everything breaks down. The DQ goes in order, and obviously the continuation of the beatdown of Cena and Punk. Which led to probably maybe a semi-surprise here, but they're trying with Big E Langston coming out to make the save for Punk and Cena. And honestly, if they're really trying, and it looks like they're really trying to push Big E to be a very over person, this is a good way of doing it, interacting him with the Shield, because the Shield has obviously been an over group, and this is something that could probably benefit Big E Langston, especially if they're going to be going with a route of getting rid of the Shield, or having them break up over the next couple months here. So this could be definitely a good way of pushing Big E Langston to being a little bit more over than where he is at this point in time. So I actually like that aspect of him coming out and making the save, and now he's interjecting himself with a potential good feud to go along with everything he's doing and having the Intercontinental title. But like I said, I felt the show kind of lost pace. They were trying to cram a whole bunch of stuff into the 2-hour time frame, and it didn't really come off all that well to me. You had some really good matches there. You had the handicap match that ended up being really good. Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and the Wyatt family was really good. But all in all, I didn't really feel like the SmackDown was all that great of a show to be from start to finish. You had a couple good moments, a couple potential good storyline starts, but overall not very good. So yeah, that's my review this week for Friday Night SmackDown. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.